we started this, if you'd have told me that it was going to be successful and is used as much as it is, I'd have said, yeah, good luck with that.
There was never any intention to go beyond Grand County. It was
Right.
really developed to respond to a bad site visit.
And a lot of this credit belongs to Andy because you got it out to other, organizations and extension or similar groups across the United States and even in Canada.
But James mentioned just the extension network, and that's one of the things that extension always did well is you share your work. And so other states would find out about it, ask if they could use it.
The real thing with First Impressions is, yeah, I can relate to this. I can, you go through the manual, 10 pages, and you go through that and you say, well, yeah, that's not tough. I can do that.
It's a tool in a toolbox.
Yeah.
And it's a great introductory tool to get people engaged in their community and recognizing that they can make a difference.
The thing that we were fortunate is we kept the program simple.
Mm-hmm. We didn't have even instructions on how to use the checklist that we had developed because, again, it was not something we thought about, but it just grew and more people were requesting it and we responded. And
we intended it to be first impressions. It is not an in-depth look at everything you need to know in developing your community.
When people get constructive criticism from somebody like themselves, it's different than an expert coming in and telling them what they have to do differently.
The other thing is that I see happening with communities is they'll look back at this 2-3 years later, or they'll start to think differently.
You're right, though. I think just about everybody that participated in that program would share that. Yeah, I never come back to my community and look at it the same way.
You still have to, as a community, have to do something with it, and it's the follow-up that you do, not just in sharing the report, but saying, what's next? What else could we do that would make sense and build on what this has made us aware of?
I think the thing that's most amazing is that, after we did that program, after we shared it, James and I moved on to different things and it never went away.
Yeah.
And so that was proof positive that it was a worthwhile program because it wasn't getting a lot of support from either James or I, but people continued to use it.
And literally we could prove that over 1,000 communities, well over 1,000 communities nationwide and in Canada had used the program.
Many of those communities used it multiple times
Yeah.
too, and then used that to try to gauge whether they were making any progress.
This is not an assessment of your community. It is very much what the title says. It's a first impression.
People need to understand they can't just go out and hire an economic development director and expect the work to be done. Everybody's part of the marketing department, and everybody that interacts with visitors has an impact.
Yeah.
And has an impact on their perception of the community.
First impressions, it's a simple idea, but you go out and do it. It's not, it doesn't take 10 months worth of planning. It's an effective tool, it's a simple tool, it's a cost-effective tool, but it's just a start. It actually does what it's supposed to do. I'm just amazed at the number of communities that have used it. It worked beyond our expectations. I don't know of any community that didn't receive information from another community in exchange that they couldn't point to something and say, here's something we can do, or do better, or change.
People need to get engaged in their community and make a difference. And I think First Impressions is an easy way to do that. And as you said, it's fun, doesn't take a lot of time, but it starts things. So it's a good starting point.
And that's why I'm a big believer in First Impressions. You only get one of them.
I just think it's amazing that such a simple program could be so meaningful.
I want to reintroduce it to a new generation of folks in Extension and Chamber and Economic Development.
Yeah.
So, because the program still works. We caught lightning in a bottle. We kept our promise. We didn't get rich, but we're still working on famous. Hey,
Yeah, act like you like each other.